it made the news. There was this dude at the White House, this like famous media agent at the White House correspondent dinner, who were through all the chaos was just sitting there eating his salad.
Yes.
And I was like, that would be Tim. That would be Tim. He'd be like, I paid for this goddamn meal. I am not leaving. I'm eating this food.
As I understand the charge, I plead guilty. I would definitely be doing that. I'd be eating my meal. And honestly, if there were other people's meals I hadn't touched that were abandoned, maybe I might eat those too, if they were good.
Pat Mayo Experience.
The cases are real. Probably. This is the third installment, a brand new full-length version of Judge Cust.
Now entering the courtroom of Judge Cust.
Verdict not based on law, evidence of common sense. Judge Cust. All rulings are final until he changes his mind in 5 minutes. He's got the power. Judge Cust. Case dismissed. Now get out of his sight.
You can always send your cases in to Mayomediainc at gmail.com if you demand justice be served, either on your behalf or on the other person's behalf. How are you feeling, Judge?
I am feeling prepared to deal with a new docket of cases.
Well, we got one to come off right away. You ready for this?
Sure.
From Darren in Phoenix. He says, I recently misplaced my wallet after it fell out of my pocket while I was running errands. The wallet contained only my identification, a credit card, and a debit card. So while the loss was not financially significant, it was a major inconvenience. To my surprise, before I had even returned home, I was contacted via social media by someone who had found my wallet. Recognizing the effort and integrity required to go to such lengths, I felt confident that this individual would not accept a cash reward. Instead, I chose to express my gratitude by purchasing a gift card and enclosing it in a handwritten thank you card. Since the wallet was lost at a large home improvement retail store, I selected a gift card from that same store. My question is, what would have been an appropriate amount to include on that gift card?
$50. Maybe $100, but $50 I think is the appropriate amount. For a kind gesture of somebody returning your wallet like that, I think a $50 gift card to that big box store would be very appropriate. That's what I'd recommend.
What do you think, Geoff?
I mean, nice person. It's almost like he's writing us to get air put in his tires. Because like, how do you bash this? Well done, sir. It all depends. There was no cash. And did you go meet this person? Like, how far did you go directly to them? Right? Like, it depends the effort. Was there a lot of cash in there? Did they have to like drive anywhere to like even meet you halfway? It's all relative. Nice gesture. 50 is lovely. If there was like something actually valuable other than like a couple cards you could click with, your phone and dump. Today, it's like losing your phone. Back in the day, when you used to lose your wallet, now like you used to feel naked. Now it's more so like the phone. There's nothing. Who carries cash?
Well, the ID.
The
The
cards
ID
are
is
all
important.
replaceable. Like the driver's license is annoying. That shit you're gonna have to like wait in line for. But yeah, $50 seems like more than adequate. 25 would have been fine. If you want to be a mensch, go above and beyond.
So my grandfather used to have something like this because he lost his wallet once and it got returned to him with all the cash still in it. So it was his rule of thumb that he just gave the person half the cash that was in the wallet.
That's a very kind
Well
gesture.
played, Gramps.
Very
Good for
kind
you.
gesture.
But no one carries cash anymore is the problem.
Older
So you can't-
people still do. And older people are the people most likely to carry wallets. So
do you even have a wallet still?
no, it's like it's attached to
Yeah,
my phone.
the like the 3 or 4 cards you need. And
it's like on my phone, like not on my phone, but attached physically to my phone.
yeah, losing your phone is a much bigger deal than losing your wallet.
And your grandfather, like he makes a mental, like I lose my wallet, that money's gone. So him even getting 50% of it
a
feels
victory.
like a plus EV, I guess, move.
Would you like blow up a whole bachelor party if you lost your wallet?
So
I
one of the-
lost my vape at the World Series.
well, it's funny.
We saw you yelling.
It's funny you say that. That the same guy that lost his wallet on the bachelor party was the same guy that we know that lost his vape not once but twice on the golf course on our golf trip during a round and lost his mind all 3 times.
Yeah, I wasn't present. Well, I mean, I was present but asleep when the wallet got lost, but we heard the story.
He made everyone stay out. Well, not everyone. He made the two people who were sharing a room with him stay out until around 7 a.m. as they tracked a cab all around Montreal to get his wallet back. And we had another friend on the trip who got so annoyed by it, offered to pay for a ticket home for him so he could just leave.
That did happen.
Yeah, it's
Now, this was 10 years ago where, it mattered a little bit more if you lost your cards because they wouldn't be on your phone or whatever, but it was a full-blown meltdown. They were driving around in a car, tracking where this cab was, where the phone was. So they drove 45 minutes outside of the city to find the guy, and get the wallet.
And when he lost his vape on the golf course, I found it. I was just walking down in the right rough, and I saw a vape on the ground. I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up. I threw it into my cart, and I met up with them 3 holes later when some of the holes started to cross, and he was half crying and very upset that he lost his vape. I was like, I found a vape. He hugged me. I've never seen anyone happier in my life. So then we get to hole 13 or 14, and the holes kind of cross again, and he's freaking out because he's lost the vape again. Feel like this might happen to you, Jeff.
no. I never no. I don't even I'll say it I don't even have a vape on the golf course.
Really? You bring
maybe in my bag, but no, I don't know. If I'm playing a home game, no, because the carts are well equipped. If I'm playing a road game in some raggedy golf cart, I don't know how this thing's gonna operate. Then sure. But I play more home games than road games. I did something diabolical once. Judge Cust will probably think this is vile. In college, I went to Western. I had a lot of great buddies who lived in a house together at Brock. It's like St. Catharines. No one cares. Hour and a half away. Leafs playoffs. Go there. Whatever. We'd go with a buddy. Buddy drives us. We go there. He wanted to leave before I did. I wanted to stay the extra night. I guess the buds were playing. Let's get some drinks in. Let's have a day. So me and one of the 5 guys who lived in the house, because you couldn't tell everybody, we hid his keys, his car keys, and made him think he lost them.
Oh,
we did the same.
And then he finally after he had a few drinks, okay, whatever. We'll find the keys. We didn't leave the house today. Had them last year. Sort of let him oh, look, we found the keys. Yay. But, that's.
Now we can't use them.
Oh, Jeffrey, that is terrible. That is terrible behavior.
On that same bachelor party, we had our silent friend who doesn't really do anything. The same guy who lost his wallet hid his cord to hook up his speaker, which he was hooking up everywhere we went.
His aux cord.
He just hit his aux cord, and the guy.
My God, you got an annoying friend that plays DJ everywhere.
Everywhere.
It doesn't even matter.
No.
Always DJ.
It's the same guy who lost his wallet and his vape pen.
It's all the same person.
And it's the same guy that the next year on the golf trip, he also eats a lot of chips and Doritos, that a crow came down and stole his Doritos out of the golf cart and flew up in a tree, and it stopped the round because he had to go into the woods and throw clubs at this crow and yell at it for 10 minutes.
Not even my favorite story about him and Doritos on all these golf trips.
Oh.
Remember when I brought that big bag of Doritos?
That's right.
So I went to Costco and brought on the trip one of those big, massive bags of Doritos, and we'd forgotten they were in the car. So on the way out, I opened them up, and we were having some, and Danny, oops, you can edit that out. You can edit that out. Our friend was very upset that Pat was eating the chips and not sharing them with everybody.
Which I was.
He was driving around in the golf cart trying to give them to people.
Yeah, we wanted them for the way home.
Yeah, we wanted them for the way home. He was very, very upset. Whoever that was.
Yeah, whoever that person is.
Whoever that person was. All in good fun. All in good fun. But
okay, so yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that person wrote us wanting to get congratulations, because there's no way. I don't even how do you get ruled negatively there?
I don't
Did
think
he say what he even gave.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't say what he gave.
I think he wanted to know what the proper amount to give was, and I've given the number. I think 50 is fine.
Any amount.
Any amount is good. And even with I think part of my grandfather's trick of giving half the cash is the sneaky truth is no one accepts half the cash.
I would.
You always tip. Even if you leave it somewhere and like you go right back to where you left it and someone's just been like holding it, I still think you give like something, even small. Like they made a quick conscious effort getting in touch with someone who lost a wallet. It's not like your phone number's like emboldened on it.
True. But still, it's a real inconvenience, and you feel
But if
like
someone actually like hauled ass to find you, then like I think you go above and beyond with a tip.
what would
Like,
you do, Jeff,
crazy
if you lost your phone? What would your next move be?
But he couldn't lose his phone because he'd have it up to his ear listening to Rumble.
That does happen in public, but like if you realized you couldn't find your phone, you left it somewhere. I don't know, in an Uber on your way back home. What would you do?
I don't know. With Uber now, it'd be easier to get than probably a taxi. But back
That's
in the
true.
day, I feel like I did leave a phones in taxis as like a drunk teenager. You call the phone, you fucking pay the freight. Bring that shit back. Sooner the better. And I've got the War Amps thing on my car keys,
I do too.
which I don't even know if someone who found them, but like it's a thing where if you just drop them in a mailbox,
They'll be returned to you.
returned to you.
Yep, I have the same thing.
Is that true?
Anyway.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
That's one of the benefits of having those tabs.
That's Cam's favorite charity.
That
Loves
is
War Amps.
That is true. He does
Yeah.
love War Amps.
Well, that's because they do all the CFL commercials.
All right, next case. This comes from Josh, and he says, my wife's cousin and
My
his
wife. You have no idea how many times on your recent Kentucky Derby show, when you guys were reading at the numbers and saying 1, 6, 7, whatever, I kept doing this.
Oh,
in
so
the
you
car.
only listened to the audio. You didn't watch the video when
didn't-
I started doing this.
No, I didn't see the video. Oh, that's amazing.
I was
Okay.
getting a laugh at a
Do
Jared.
it? Like my kids, I feel like that's like not even a thing anymore.
Even better.
Yeah,
even better.
My 5 and 7-year-old are off 6, 7 now.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't heard that in a while.
With the warm months approaching, I'd rather spend my time planning a vacation than stressing about whether I can afford to do it or not. So, I've been getting my finances organized now instead of waiting until the damage is done. Monarch is the personal finance app that tracks everything: accounts, investments, savings, goals, and spending. Get your first year of Monarch Core for half off, just $50 with promo code Pat Mayo. What I like about Monarch is it catches stuff before it becomes a problem. The AI recap flagged a spending spike for me, and the cash flow tool showed exactly where my money was disappearing every single month. Now, should I have known that when I was spending the money? Probably, but hey, when you're spending money, sometimes you forget things. Use code PATMAYO at monarch.com to get your first year of Monarch Core half off at just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code PATMAYO. Let's talk about something no one in endurance sports likes to admit. You can be training your ass off, cardio, stress, not recovering properly, and yeah, it can mess with your performance everywhere, because it all comes back to blood flow. Most guys jump straight to pills. That's just treating the symptom. The real key is nitric oxide. That's what controls circulation, endurance, and yeah, performance. That's why Joy Mode actually makes sense. It's a natural booster that supports nitric oxide production, not the fake pixie dust stuff. Just tear open a packet, mix it like an electrolyte drink, and you are good to go. Use it when you need it, or use it daily to raise your baseline. Think of it like training. One dose helps, consistency changes everything. If you want to support sexual performance the same way you support training and recovery, naturally and intelligently, Joy Mode has a deal for my listeners. Go to tryjoymode.com/Mayo or enter Mayo at checkout for 20% off. Joy Mode, the electrolyte packet for your dick. My wife's cousin and his wife think that we're terrible people for not attending their, quote, wedding reception. That's in quotes.
Okay.
For context, they eloped and got married over a year ago and didn't invite any family, only friends. Then, a whole year later, they decided to have a wedding reception. We didn't attend for several reasons. It was out of state, held at an expensive location, announced on relatively short notice, and would have cost us roughly between $2,500 and $3,000 for flights, lodging, and travel for essentially one day. Given that they had already been married for a year and weren't included in the original wedding at all, we didn't feel like it was reasonable or financially responsible to make the trip. Now, they're upset, and acting like we intentionally snubbed them. From our perspective, it wasn't personal. It was about timing, cost, distance, and the unusual nature of having a reception a year after eloping without family. P.S. His wife is now pregnant and wants to have 3 baby showers, 1 where they live and 2 in Texas. Both are 5 hours apart in Texas.
You need to steer clear of these people. These people are bad news. They may be very nice, but they're bad news. You're under no obligation whatsoever. Like, I would be okay unless you're immediate family, and even then, I can understand. Look, they eloped. They didn't want anyone to be involved in their marriage, or their wedding. That's their prerogative. What they don't get to do is host a wedding reception a year later without much warning in an expensive place and then be upset that you don't come. I'm sorry. No, you have no obligation here. Their being upset is honestly selfish on their part, and you're under no obligation. And to show how out of touch with reality they are, she's having 3 bridal shower or baby showers. 3? No, not guilty.
Yeah.
That's a pretty straightforward one, I feel.
Yeah.
This is like a lot. Like, this isn't even. I don't want to be too rude, but like Tim said it. I could be ruder, but these are people you really need to absolutely like be avoiding. They are not in touch with reality. Maybe this person is just like projecting their like hatred. That isn't really there, but if it is there, then these people like absolutely suck. And this holy shit, this constant need to be fucking celebrated. Fuck off. The 3 baby showers, like, buzz off. You're not going 5 hours for any baby shower.
This has happened in bachelor parties too, and I'm as guilty of anyone as having a like destination bachelor party.
Not the same thing.
It is and it isn't, though, because bachelor parties have gotten out of hand as well, and it does box out people who just can't afford to go.
Yes, it does. But it's not the same thing as having an event a year after a wedding with short notice and then being really angry at people who don't show up.
I feel the same way about destination weddings.
I do too. Unless you're like immediate family or like the closest of close friends, you shouldn't go. Or you shouldn't feel obligated.
Way you can throw a destination wedding and fucking hold people accountable.
You should already be in contact with the people you want to invite.
To go destination, everyone is like, you have to accept, like, that's it. Like, you've made that decision. Most rational people, I assume, are like in touch with reality and treat like when they throw a destination wedding as like, we understand this because of burden. And even if it's not a financial burden, like, you can't hold it against anyone.
No, you should be
other
taking
than
the
like
temperature.
your brother or parents or some shit. But no.
If I was having a destination wedding, I'd be asking people well in advance, if we had a destination wedding, would you go or would you be interested? And like, you already have a good sense of the yeses or nos. Not that anyone's committed to anything, but you have a general sense of the yeses or nos for you. If you don't care what other people think, you say, well, I always wanted to get married in Cancun. Well, okay. Well, maybe I don't want to go to Senor Frogs for your wedding reception.
I have so many. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have few problems.
Make a better margarita
maybe
at home.
I am crazy. Maybe I am insane. Maybe I don't see things properly. But like, I forbid my wife to throw me a 40th birthday party. Like, I will not be celebrated. If my friends want to do it, fine. We'll go to 5 of them in a fucking summer. Like, whatever. It's life. But I'm not, like, forbidden.
It's already happened.
And the fact that like people think that like other people should get on a plane for them to be celebrated, my head cannot wrap around that. Like, I can't. I can't. But I'm not normal. I'm the second most insane person here, but I can acknowledge I'm insane. So that always gives me the win.
Is this different than if it's a wedding you have to travel for because one of the couples are from a different part of the country and that's where they're getting married?
That's different.
Is it? Okay.
So
But
I
you
have
can't
this
expect
exact
I get
scenario.
invited to like a friend's wedding somewhere. Like, there's no guarantee. They have to know there's no guarantee that that's going to be attended. And that is different. That is almost like, I've been in those, you get
You came to my wedding, didn't you?
No.
I
You're not-
wasn't invited.
Oh, sorry.
That's
But don't worry, Garion was.
Yeah, Garion was there.
But we weren't like that. That's
actually
like,
true.
We were buddies, but no, like, and you were already. It was back east. I wasn't even working at
Fantasy then. Yeah. That's
I
true.
wasn't even working
Yikes.
with you like as much in that moment. But no, that's different. And even when people do come out of town, there's like some respect or decorum paid. Maybe there's like an out of towners dinner. I'm not saying it's like your presence is at least like acknowledged and respected, but that's a different thing. But I'll say all this to say, like, my sister had a fucking
But it's your sister. You gotta go. You gotta go to that. Unless you have a darn good reason, you gotta go.
Yeah, and you want to know something about that, Tim? It was probably like a few days before I realized my passport was expired. So I had to go to the office. Like, I was there in person. I was second in line and the fire alarm went off. And I told the security, like, I'm not leaving. They promised me my spot in line, but I said, I can't leave. You don't understand. Like, either I die in a fire or my father is going to fucking kill me. I'm not leaving. That all got taken care of. But yeah, no, obnoxious.
The 40th birthday parties were interesting, but Jared, you had a question?
Yeah, so I have this exact situation. So my girlfriend's friend is getting married in the Plaza in Paris.
Oh!
Yeah. And my buddy is getting married in Colombia because his significant other is from Colombia.
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the first one, they were like, hey, let's pick a cool spot to get married?
Super rich.
Okay.
Yeah, super rich. Yeah, they were like, what is the best wedding you can think of?
All right, well, then fly you in.
Right?
If they're super rich, then they should fly you in.
Exactly. Yeah. So she feels really guilty, and I'm like, man, that's like $5,000. Like, on very short notice.
Maybe more.
Seriously.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't get every flight discount, every hotel discount that you can find, like best available, and you just pay standard price, you're looking more like $10,000.
And
Seriously.
like what? 3 nights in a hotel there? And when you're going to go to Paris for 3 nights, you probably then feel obligated to make your own little
to
thing
stay
of it
for a week. Exactly.
Yeah, you have to like stay at like the 18th arrondissement or something.
I mean,
who wants to do that?
Listen, I guess they are like, oh, these people all want to go to Paris once in their life. They should just go for my wedding. And then your girlfriend is like, Jared, like, I do want to go to Paris at some point. So it does let us like check this off the box. I don't know.
You have to be firm immediately and say no.
And it seems like they're purposely excluding 50% of the guest list because, like, no,
well, that makes sense.
I mean,
this is like you invite people you know are going to say no. And they'll listen. These people are probably going to throw a lovely banquet at home too.
It's a good point.
But it's not the Plaza in Paris.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, if they're as rich as you say, and so many of their friends can't make it, they're going to come back and be like, you know what? We should have like a lovely reception. I'm not saying that means you shouldn't go or that's a bearing on your thing, but I mean, like, they're probably going to, want to be celebrated at home too if they feel the need to be celebrated.
The best thing about a destination wedding as the organizer, if you're somebody who is like panicked about the wedding and you're all stressed about it, if you're also somebody who like freaks out about travel, this would replace your stress about the wedding because you'd be so stressed about
or
the travel.
Or it could just compound it though.
Maybe. But I feel like one would take the place of the other.
I like that where you're obviously talking about personal experience here of you being stressed about traveling.
Yes.
I like that you can get stressed about certain things, but if one stressor is higher than the other, then the other one doesn't matter anymore.
It's like, I think there's a...
But you only have enough bandwidth for one big stressor.
I think this is a gruesome analogy.
Destination wedding, are you not just doing it because you want it small, you want it intimate, and you honestly do not care who doesn't come?
No.
One of the two of them is very obsessed about this place being where they get married.
Or they just want a free vacation.
Or they want a free vacation.
What?
Because that'll be their wedding gift from their mother and from their
No,
if
the place gives you a free vacation to get 30 rooms sold or something.
Like, if you're the bride and groom, you get free stay at the place.
Is that true?
Yeah.
But you probably have to sell X amount of rooms.
Yeah, I think you need like at least 10 people to come, and then you get it for free. Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Snakes.
I don't.
This has always been my big thing about destination weddings. Like, fuck off. Like, you want a free trip. That's all you
I'm
want.
sure there's places that are like so fancy, maybe not, but like I like these, like most of these resort sort of places. I think Pat is 150% correct.
Additionally, if you're so rich that you could go to like the Ritz in Aruba or something like that, where it's
Be nice.
$10,000 a night or something, they're not going to give that to you for free. But at that point, you just don't care. Like, you're rich enough to go do that.
Bet you they have a concierge who would make your
And listen,
reservations for you.
if you're doing a destination wedding, do you like in your mind know the conversations that are happening, like even at your best friends' houses?
Probably not. These people tend
Like
to
very
by and
few.
large, have
I
no-
think there's very few people in even your wedding party who like are like, yeah, this is great. Like you are putting so many people in a blender, but under like I think you know that. Like you've been on the other side of it, even the people doing it. So I have to believe there's this social contract with a destination wedding that is like, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. Full stop.
I really don't like them. I really don't like
But
destination
you don't like
weddings.
going anywhere, so
Well,
you're not
that's-
a fair.
that's
barometer.
fair. But I don't like the idea, even in principle. Even if I was somebody who liked traveling, I don't like the idea of it.
There's the other part of it too, that let's say my wife and I had gotten married at a resort somewhere in Dominican Republic. Everyone's there for a week. The entire week is just people getting like wasted at a resort. Like it's not like, it doesn't feel like a real wedding.
At
It
least
feels-
that day.
To do a destination wedding, you're trying to like soft not include people.
So this person is from Newfoundland, like right around where we are, expensive flight, but they live in Vancouver and are having a destination wedding in Paris. Like, I don't know how expensive are those flights?
They're doing well then.
Well, I mean, Christ.
Vancouver to Paris wouldn't be that much longer because you go over the pole.
Do you?
Yeah, you would
Do
go over
you?
the Arctic to get there.
Well, it's very close from here.
Yeah, probably like a 6-hour flight from Vancouver and probably like a 5-hour flight from Halifax.
I don't.
But
Listen, there are situations where I think it can align like perfectly with your life too. Like this is a great time of year. Like this is a perfect vacation for us. Like I could see how, you want to throw a destination wedding and there's people who you're inviting who are like this, like honestly all checks out perfectly. We want to go there. We'll have our own vacation, blah, blah, blah. But the majority of people I have to assume feel like a huge burden.
What if it's a second wedding?
well, yeah, that's even worse.
Or more.
That is like pure idea-free vacation. I think this really only works.
That was a quick dismissal. Oh, it's their second wedding? No, well.
Yeah. That's,
I had to go to a second wedding like a 30 minutes down the street a few weeks ago for one of my wife's friends, and I like thought I was being taken to the gulag. I didn't say that right.
yeah, you nailed it.
Was lunch provided?
No, this was a dinner. This was a dinner. It wasn't even it was downtown Toronto, but like I'm being dragged to a second wedding. I just I couldn't. Might have even no, it wasn't the trying to remember who won the golf tournament that week. I forget.
Matt Fitzpatrick, because he wins every week.
You know what? It might have been Valspar. I don't know. Whatever. Let's keep on.
Destination weddings. I think you need to be an appropriate age to go.
Older people.
No, I think it's the exact
Yeah.
opposite.
'Cause they've
I
got
think it's
money.
like 20 to 25 because there are two things here. Once people start having kids, they really can't go anymore on one of these things because then they have to lug 3 kids with them. So if you're my age and you're 40 and everyone else I know has 2 or 3 kids at this point, if let's say tomorrow you were like, hey, I'm getting married in Mexico. Well, it's going to be very different. It's going to be way more expensive for me to go for one thing.
Yes.
Beyond whatever.
But you could leave the kids with you in your case. You could leave the kids
But
with
not
family
everyone
or
has the
something.
ability
But
to
not
do
everyone has that ability. No.
Yeah, no, it's such a burden. You're right, Pat. Like if you almost have to be like the first people who got married young in your friend group, not like young, to like pull it off. Where your
But I think it
friends
flips.
are all like,
If you're in your 50s, it works too.
sure.
Because then everybody is
maybe.
like empty
On the other
nesting
end-
and they've got money and
No one
On the
wants to go to your
reverse end,
fucking
sure,
50-year-old wedding.
I can see that also. But yeah,
duly
no,
noted.
I don't know. this is
The one in Colombia, Jared, I think you probably have to go to.
I agree.
Yes.
Like it's clearly like one of your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a good reason for it to be there.
And they've taken the time and the money to like sort everything else out for us. We just pay for the flight, we show up, and everything's taken care
Like I
of.
assume
Oh,
you
okay.
like,
it's
you have to get
like
like a
thing with
visa
your
or
girlfriend,
something.
like you're going to your friend's thing, but we're not going to her friend's
Yeah,
thing.
it was a bit of a tiff. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie about it. Yeah.
Hey, well, that day that we looked up flights, the flights to Colombia weren't that bad.
They were not that bad. Yeah,
fly
and
what,
it's
Toronto to
Pizzola just
all that stuff.
Pizzola was in Colombia like 2 months ago.
Yeah, but Pizzola once told me that if he wanted to run a tout service, he'd make $1 million a year. So he's probably making $10 million a year. So what's the matter to him?
I know how much Pizzola gets like stiffed. So to put up with that, I don't even know how much he gets stiffed in total, but like from time to time, how much he gets stiffed. And to put up with like that as being like just part of life in the game he plays, I can only imagine what he's actually making. I'll just leave it at that.
So they have like the villa taken care of for you guys down there, Jared?
Yeah, they have like a whole, not resort, but they have like 5 or 6
Like a
houses.
compound.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, let's go.
What about like
Yeah,
the
it's
travel
awesome.
visas, stuff like that?
What travel visa?
You can't just go to Colombia.
You can't?
I think you have to have a visa to go to Colombia.
No,
visit?
what are you talking about?
I'm pretty
weekend?
sure. I would suspect your passport is not good enough.
No, a Canadian
Really?
passport gets you in and out of Colombia.
I find that hard to believe.
There's
Yeah.
most countries you can't just
Okay,
go
these
in without a
people
passport.
from Colombia who are organizing everything for a wedding would have told Jared and all the guests,
No doubt.
if they needed some secondary info.
Why would Colombia be a place where you couldn't go?
It's not that you can't go. You just need a travel. You need one to go to France, for heaven's sakes.
No,
You can't just
that's
show
not
up. You have to.
true.
You have to
your
get one of
passport.
those e.
No, you
yes,
don't.
What are
Yes.
you talking
Well, how about when I went there and did
telling
it
you.
and just showed my passport?
Well,
They're
that has
My
changed.
wife
That
and
has now
daughter
changed.
just went there.
Since
What are you
when?
talking
You
about?
have to like sign up for that e visa and all kinds of stuff. Like you can't just go there. There's documentation you have to fill out.
Like, is
Are
it?
you talking about the IRGC members from the soccer team trying to get into
No,
Canada?
no. Like
And
you can't just
those
you can't just
paperworks?
show
What are
up
you
in
talking
Paris.
about?
You actually have to fill out some documents and stuff.
But Pat, didn't you go like last summer or summer before last?
No, but like look it up. Like
Well, I went to the EU in less than a year ago. I flew into Germany. I was like, yeah, here's my passport. Good. We had to fill out like the custom, like whatever the form is on the plane.
A Canadian passport gets you into Europe. You don't need supplemental forms unless you're taking a child without the other parent who's underage or something. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there might be like a no different than.
When's
like
the last time you flew anywhere internationally?
Was it Minnesota? when we went?
Vegas? Oh no, he didn't come to Vegas.
Montreal.
Minneapolis. No, that's not international.
No, it was to Jeff.
Even though Jeff thought Montreal was international and everything is in
Listen,
a foreign
Southern
language.
Road? Jesus Christ.
Hey, Minneapolis, St. Paul was the last time I was international. Flying.
Also had another wedding question.
Yeah.
All right, so I have.
You're that age now where you're going to go through a lot of weddings.
That's the thing.
Oh,
That's the other
exhausting.
reason.
I went to-
I wouldn't want that.
I was living in Toronto and flew here for a wedding a week before my wedding, flew back to Toronto, then flew back here to have my wedding.
I remember that wedding.
that sounds
I mean,
awful.
yeah, we're like
I was at that wedding.
So hot.
So hot. Oh my God.
The AC broke and it was like July. It was like, oh my
It was
God.
like 112 degrees in the church, and it was no cooler at the reception site.
Yeah, you don't need.
I'll be honest. Can I say something? There's nothing worse. It's like nice when people ask you to be in their like bridal party or like to be a groomsman or whatever. But then that day comes and you got to be there like 5 hours early to fucking just sit there and like you take 4 minutes of pictures. Like, oh my God. Like, I wish. Like the luckiest person is, let's say you got 3 groomsmen. The luckiest person is your 4th best friend. I tell you that day.
That happened at the last wedding that I went to. The guy.
So I'm not
told
wrong.
me-
There is something coming in 2026 that will require you to fill it out well before you travel.
It's a form that you can like punch in for like 3 questions at the airport. You don't have to go through like a process to do anything. You show up to the airport. They're like, hey, you need to fill out this thing with this app. Okay. If it feels like that's a real struggle for you,
It'd be a burden for a lot of people.
it really isn't. People do this every day.
I don't.
But you don't go anywhere.
No, I
You
don't.
haven't been out of the country in almost 10 years.
No.
now.
I was out of the country driving for a day. for an afternoon.
To Bangor, Maine,
Yeah, it's exactly where I went.
to hit the outlet mall.
And to see if they still had the all-you-could-eat KFC buffet. They didn't have it. Well, they didn't. They used to. It was great.
What was that going on? Oh, the wedding. So a friend pulled me aside at the last wedding I was at, a good friend of mine. And he was like, I'm having like 3 people in my wedding party, and like her brother like kind of needs to be in. And it was the best conversation I ever had, Jeff. I was like, you just did me. All I have to do is show up to the wedding. This is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. You're like, when you're like best friends getting married and his wife's got 3 brothers, you're like, thank the Lord.
Now,
Thank the Lord.
Now, I've been a best man. You've been a best man twice, incling my wedding.
Yeah.
We've done it. We've done it. I love my friends and I'd take a bullet for them. But you want me there 4 hours early in a suit? That's where I draw a line.
Well, you have real responsibility as a best man.
Yes,
you have things to do. If you're 5th out of 5 of groomsmen, you're just kind of like the guy in the back with that person you've never met before taking pictures.
Basically.
Yeah, keeping the mood light, yucking up the bridesmaids. Yeah, good times.
Asking people whether Hoffy's going to win the Masters.
And then there's some people, Pat, when you do this, they're smart enough to bring some food in. And then there's other people who are like oblivious to this. So,
You're supposed to bring food?
Yeah.
No, if you are having like 8 people, never mind.
Like, I provided lunch for you guys when we were taking all those pictures, remember?
I don't remember that.
We went to that other room. Do you not remember that?
I don't remember that.
You remember everything. How do you
I
not
remember we
remember
had the reception the night before in there.
We did the dinner, then we did the reception the night before, but midway through taking the pictures.
Oh, shit.
I don't remember that.
Is everything okay, Jeff?
Yeah, no, this reminds me of something I have to ask Tim.
I don't remember having a lunch.
Yeah, between like the 5 of us took pictures, like all me and the groomsmen, and then her and the bridesmaids went and took their pictures before we got back together.
Yes.
We had a room where we went off and had like snacks and lunch.
Okay. I don't remember that part.
Jeff's right. Forgetting a free meal for Tim is crazy.
Easy.
I had a lot of responsibilities that day, and my mind was focused on many things.
Well, crushed it. You crushed it that day by all reports. But Tim's going back to a formal setting. It made the news. There was this dude at the White House, this like famous media agent at the White House correspondent dinner, who through all the chaos was just sitting there eating his salad.
Yes.
And I was like, that would be Tim. That would be Tim. He'd be like, I paid for this goddamn meal. I am not leaving. I'm eating this food.
As I understand the charge, I plead guilty. I would definitely be doing that. I'd be eating my meal. And honestly, if there were other people's meals I hadn't touched that were abandoned, maybe I might eat those too, if they were good.
Jared, did you have anything else?
Oh,
you said something about weddings.
Yeah, you said something about weddings you wanted to ask.
Oh, yeah. At what point, like, she has probably, I would say, a good dozen people that are going to be inviting her to weddings or maybe even in the wedding
Have
party.
fun.
Yeah, whereas I have, like...
saving.
Yeah, seriously. So I have, like, I don't know, 6 to 7 really good friends that I would assume I would be invited to. What's the cutoff point there?
What you can afford? How much you... Well, you pull out a list.
Gift? Like how much you give?
No, like you start power ranking your friends
Seriously.
on a piece of paper.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Jared,
Yeah. Like how close are you?
And honestly, a lot of it depends. Like I've been to weddings for people that like I not barely know, but I'm like casual friends with because they put on a huge wedding and it was like 10 minutes from my house. I was like, well, it's a fun Saturday night. Why not?
There's nuance to these decisions. Obviously, your closest friends are like non-negotiables, but as you go down the list, like if the date works, if like you get open bar, if you're like other good friends are going to be there, what else you doing on the Saturday night? Right. It's all
or
like
Sunday.
Right. There's a lot. I don't want to say it's case by case. These are your friends' weddings, but maybe you could be double booked on a night. You never know.
Was your wedding on a Sunday, Jeff?
No, my wedding was on one of the Saturdays. We just had to do it a little later.
I was going to say,
but I
Saturday,
hate that.
really?
Oh my God.
No, I understand why.
For all our faults,
I understand.
That's not a good one.
Well, yeah, you don't want to have a wedding on Sabbath. I get that.
Most of my friends had it on a Saturday. Like, you got to be pretty. You got to. Yeah, everyone wants it on a Saturday. It gets done right.
I can't remember if it was an email question or something I was watching, but the guy was talking about big savings on wedding night because a Saturday fell on 9/11.
Oh, dear.
He's like, you'd be shocked at how cheap it was to rent the venue.
Oh, dear.
I don't get it.
Because
Well, people didn't want to get married on 9/11, like even after the fact.
They
Like,
don't
when
want
it's
their
like-
wedding
like
anniversary to be
even
the
2
11th of
years later, it's
September.
a cheaper night.
Yeah, it's like the cheapest Saturday you can have outside of like
Yeah.
December 30th.
There's
or
people
something.
that'll pick like long weekends because right,
That's
you
tough.
want less people. You almost if you pick a long weekend, you're looking for cheaper maybe, or you also just when you invite people on a long weekend, you almost have to accept like maybe they won't come.
Depends
too.
depends what long weekend it is.
Yeah,
Like if you're getting married on the May long weekend, that's probably fine. If you're getting married Labor Day weekend, then people could very well be doing a lot of stuff.
well, that's also kids going back to school
Or-
weekend. too,
exactly.
so that
Or if you're
becomes a
doing a
lot more difficult too.
yeah, if you got married on July 1st, that might work.
Or July 4th.
Or
Yeah.
July 4th. that might-
I feel like to Canadians, Canada Day means like, yeah, it's great, it's a day off. I don't think you could pull that off in the States.
What if you were born on the 4th of July?
Well, you'd be that guy in the wheelchair.
Tom Cruise?
What was his real name?
I don't remember.
The character.
Yeah,
that he
I
played.
don't remember.
Tommy Vietnam is probably his name.
If you're like a certain type of guy and gal, I think you could pull it off, but the party would probably have just like a certain type of vibe.
Agreed. One of the best decisions I think I made was not spending too much on my wedding. Like really scaling it back. Like we looked at it, we did like the first, when you plan the wedding, you're like, hey, here's what I would love to have. And like we priced it out, I was like, oh my God. And then we cut that. I was like, we need to cut this by a third to make it reasonable. Like that meant like cutting, we were like, let's invite 200 people. It's like, then we invited like 70 people. Like all of a sudden, like you started scaling back. I just don't understand. Like it was the point of, hey, we have enough money saved and we can afford this wedding. There's zero. I want to incur zero debt having this wedding.
Because you've been to weddings where people have definitely incurred debt.
Oh yeah, the 100K wedding I went to with my friend who most definitely could not afford. It was a nice wedding.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was an awesome
It
wedding.
better have been.
At a fantastic venue. And now he has made enough money in his life that he has dug himself out of that hole. But just he was like, I'm the only person in my family who's like ever been married. I'm going all out.
Wow. No, was the Persian wedding expensive, do you think?
Well, yeah, but I think they could have afforded. Jeff, I went to a Persian wedding in Toronto. It was one of my wife's friends.
It's a great story.
Who's also a lawyer. And we showed up. She was like, it starts at 7. Apparently at a Persian wedding, you don't show up until like 90 minutes after it starts. It's like me, her, and like the 10 other white people that were invited just sitting there with no one around. No one told us that you don't show up on time. So we're sitting there. And then there was like a good half hour of the bride and groom sitting up on like, I wouldn't say like a throne, but it was like elevated
Like
above.
up on a dais.
Yeah. And people just walked up and gave them very expensive gifts for like half an hour. Like, here's a $30,000 Rolex. Here's a bar of gold. It was wild. It was probably the most fun wedding I've ever been
Yeah,
to.
Pat probably only got like 2 ingots of gold at his wedding.
I can't believe Tim didn't be like, I can't believe Jeff wasn't there. Those aren't his neighbors on the bridal path.
I don't know, were they?
Shut up.
They rented out the top of, the Toronto Star building, Jeff?
Yes.
They rented out like the whole top floor of that.
Interesting. No, yeah, I don't know. People
Does
go
your club
nuts.
get booked up for weddings very much, Jeff? Or since it's so busy in the summer with golf?
Oh yeah, huge.
That can't be cheap.
Same as ours.
My
Yeah,
wife
but
like forbid
can't
us
be
to
cheap.
get. I had my bar mitzvah there. My wife forbid us to get married there, though.
Really? It'd be a nice place to get married, honestly.
It is a lovely place, but
There's hotels nearby I'm sure people could stay at, right next door.
no, it's just my wife's like no, like it's just my wife like forbid. That was like her like. There's absolutely no way she's getting married at my golf club.
That must have been a rip-roaring bar mitzvah at Oakdale.
I'll send you some pictures.
Oh,
It was like it was my bar mitzvah, but we'll just say it was my mom's party.
Case number 3. Dear Honorable Judge Cust, I am Tommy from Minnesota, and I come before the court with a case involving meal delivery deception and whether I am a genius or just a guy committing light fraud for chicken and rice bowls.
Probably the latter. Let's hear it.
For the past 2.5 months, I've been using one of those meal delivery services that you see advertised everywhere. I live alone, hate cooking, hate grocery shopping, and wanted to cut down on how much fast food I was eating. Sounds like you. Overall, it's been great. I save time and energy and spend about the same as I was before, and I'm eating far healthier. So, By the time my 9th box showed up, I had spent around $1,000 with this company.
Oh my goodness.
And that's when a thought entered my mind. Not a noble thought, but a thought nonetheless. What if I just told them when the box arrived warm, like the ice packs had melted and the meals were ruined? My thinking was they'd look at my account, see that I'd spend a lot with them, and just credit me to keep me happy. So I did it. I messaged customer service, and they said the box arrived warm and the meals were basically shot. Within 5 minutes, they gave me a full credit on the box, around $125. The problem is, the meals were totally fine. I kept them, and I ate them, and I enjoyed them all week. At the time, I thought it was kind of smart. In my mind, I'm not scamming some small family business. I'm taking a tiny bite out of a giant company that probably has very healthy margins already. I also wasn't planning on making this a weekly operation, more of a once-in-a-while cost-basis adjustment.
That's how it starts.
Feeling pretty good about... Oh, where'd it go? Oh, it hopped on me here. Feeling pretty good about myself.
You gotta watch out for hop-ons.
I told my girlfriend what I did. Instead of being impressed, she told me I was wrong. I gave my full defense. Big corporation, loyal customer, not hurting anyone, not doing it every week. While still disagreeing on the morality of it all, I did get her to admit it was, quote, pretty hot of me to do. Now I need a ruling. Am I in the wrong for lying to a company to get a free week of meals, or as a loyal customer just trying to lower his expenses a little, am I basically fine? I respectfully submit this case to the court and wait the ruling. I think it's a great idea.
No.
Jared, have you pulled this yet? I know you get the delivery boxes.
Yeah, love them. No, I haven't pulled it yet, but this is a shout.
I think that they would, knowing how these companies work, I think that they would rather you do this than what you probably do and a lot of people do, which is cycle through the different companies to get the discount that you need.
Yeah.
Staying with the company is so much more valuable to them that if you did this every week, they would stop sending it to you and stop giving you the credit.
No
If you
doubt.
do it like once every 2 months, you know, that's no different than them showing up to your door. Like if you leave, and let's say you're with, what's one of them?
I
Factor
do
Meals.
Chef's Plate.
Yeah, so you're with Factor Meals. If you go to Chef's Plate, they will give you a week for free, basically, to get you on board with them. And this way, it's just customer retention, and you get that discount. You never have to leave.
It's the podcast. I actually have to
difference-
speak. No, you have no. Of course, Jeff's going to have gray area. He steals
no,
salt from Home Depot.
I actually
For those of
think-
us who actually have, you know it's wrong. You know what you did was wrong. Your girlfriend knows it's wrong.
That's hot, though.
But because it's wrong, as she sees,
He's the bad boy of the prepackaged meals.
Like
circuit.
when Costanza was a bootlegger. It's essentially what. No, it is wrong. It's unethical. You didn't do what's right. It doesn't matter if there's a big corporation. It doesn't matter if none of that matters. All that really matters is whether you acted ethically or not. Because when you start allowing yourself space to act a little unethically in this spot, it becomes easier to do it another time, in another place. And again. Character is formed by a habit, and habit is the things you do all the time. So once you start getting fast and loose with what's right and what's not, then it becomes easier and easier to do worse and worse things. So no, you should feel bad, guilty.
I see this, Jeff, is no different when I call my cell provider and be like, I'm fucking quitting your stupid fucking company and I'm going to the provider. They're like, oh, why don't you have a month for free? Okay.
I could see that. This is like, I fully support. In the end, I think I do back this. But this is like a step above, say, the Nespresso incident we spoke about on a previous one, where like they had made, sure, this is fine. I guess it's fine. I will say, I think once every 2 months is way too much. I think it is way too much. I think they'll get onto your scent at a rate like this.
Yeah, but hold on. You only think that once every 2 months is too much because they might catch you doing it and stop payment on your free meals.
Yeah, I think that's like too much. It's like
if you could get away with it, he'd be fine with that.
My wife's never had an issue with, say, like an Uber Eats or like a delivery thing before. And I guess the first time she messaged me like, they did this wrong. They got that. I'm like, honey, Ashley, I swear, you just message them. And like, you've never complained once in your life. They will like just give you a free refund.
And did they?
Yeah, they did. But
Which
if you're one of these, like every time I complain about like this or that or small things, I'm sure their AI knows like, nah, fuck this. We'll give them like a quarter off. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, there's diminishing returns every time you do it. So if you can figure out whatever, maybe that's the show. Maybe
That's
AI.
the sweet spot.
Yeah,
figuring
maybe
out the exact time to get like
No,
once every 4
just
months. I
act
get a
ethically,
free-
for God's sake. Act ethically.
No,
But
this is tough.
Just do
Let
what's
me do it.
right.
This is tough. I fully.
The reason he
support
wrote this is 'cause he
someone
knows he's wrong.
exploiting, like
He knows
a
he's wrong.
glitch
Yeah, but he doesn't
on
care.
the other end, right? Like a promo code that should have been expired that doesn't expire, or a discount they gave you once that is like stuck in there on your pricing, and you just like.
And I would
exploit
tell
it.
them
This one is a
And ruin it for
no
everyone?
for
you-
myself. I don't have a right to it more than once. Who am I to take advantage
Oh
of it every
my
time?
God.
I have no
Tim,
right
we've
to
been
it.
through this.
I have no
If
right to it.
you used one of those 2 can dine that you use for a 1 can dines, and
Oh,
somehow
like you've never done that
they
too.
didn't take the coupon out of your
Please.
hand, and it was still in your pocket, you would fucking use it again.
No, I wouldn't. I'd feel too guilty. I wouldn't be able to enjoy my meal. I'd be
I don't
guilty.
believe you.
But it's for 2 people, and you're using it for 1. So who has the ethics problem here? You.
It's just called 2 can dine for, even though only one is.
Well,
going to
listen,
dine.
if it was a case of them not wanting to give the free meal, they wouldn't give it. I'm telling you, it's all customer retention.
I wish I wish sports.
this is part of why the prices are what they are.
No, it's not.
They have to build into their
No,
model
it's not.
this type
It
of
is
chicane.
absolutely not.
100% is.
No, but-
they have to
but
build
Pat,
into their
this is
pricing
like,
structure this type of chicanery.
Tim, this is like at the gas station. If like 3 Coca-Colas like explode, the guy who owns the gas station, like there's a system for him to just be refunded for it.
If
Like they have
yeah.
a system where there is like already X amount of money allocated to animals getting into the food on the porch, or it just going bad, or the ice packs being defaulted. Like they have a budget for this stuff. So
Yeah,
you're just
a budget
sort of
for
clipping
real
from
things to
something they've
happen.
already prepared for.
But they're prepared for when it happens for real, not because you just don't feel like paying
So you've
factor.
got to find, as we said, we've got to do the show on like what is the sweet spot.
No, this is a Cam show. You
Yeah,
guys
no,
have-
yeah. Me, you, and Cam could do this one. Cam
No,
would be
Cam
all
is
over this.
crazy. Cam
I can't.
Cam does not have the subtlety for this.
No, he would just do it every time.
Yeah, he doesn't. And then Cam would be like, no, AI has got you as a serial offender, and even your legitimate complaints are useless. And that's my Pat. I wish the sports books on their customer service, which is all outsourced to people that know like nothing in Central America. I wish there was a thing where like if you've never like really complained before or something, like the food app, like your complaint is going to get like elevated to like a more intelligent person. But like obviously if you're like always in here chirping, like no, you're just getting like you don't get any respect.
I mean, that's no different than my Twitter account. If
It's
people
no
are
different than anywhere. Every business like will probably take care of you. They want you happy. If they catch on that you're some serial offender of claiming there's a hair in my food, you're done.
Don't be
like,
that
like
person.
someone will come back with you on Twitter, like whatever it might be. Like typo guy comes out like there was a typo in your tweet. It's like, man, it was like voice to text. Like, don't worry about it. And that's fine. If like it happens like 3 times, like I just don't need to hear from this guy anymore. I'm putting you on mute. Like you're just gone.
Yeah,
I have no time for
we
this.
don't all just get into nonstop flame wars on Twitter like some people do.
Like you.
Oh yeah,
Go
why you-
search through it. Tim, go grab your phone. Let's like find like a tweet of mine in the last like week you
yesterday.
wanna, like,
Well,
expand on.
we're recording this on the 1st of May. Yesterday, your behavior on Twitter yesterday, as you went back and forth with people who may or may not have been real.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. They're all about a golf league that's shutting
like,
down.
Find the tweet that
You
is
were
like
fighting with
offensive that you are,
Paul
like,
pointed to it.
referencing.
Paul pointed to it yesterday in our
I was in
DMs.
a doctor's office yesterday morning, like waiting. I was just pounding away.
You were pounding.
But like, I don't know. It's Twitter, but I don't know like which fake person I interacted with.
Some of these people can't be real. You've said before, you think half these people are bots.
All right.
No,
I got,
that's like, I don't think they still the bots aren't on budget anymore, man.
yeah, the funding got pulled for the bots. That was just people in it for the love of the game.
I can appreciate that.
But this I guess like to Pat's point, you're like a loyal customer, you want to stay with the business. You see everyone else getting these great discounts. Once in a while, you're like, I should be taken care of, and you found your own way. And I think also to Pat's point, they'd rather you do this than like they'd rather give you if they knew that it's all it takes is like a free one 3 times a year.
They would sign up for that.
They would do that. So you're just giving them a good deal anyway.
No, you're just justifying immoral action. I can't support it.
Case number 4 to the Honorable Judge Cust in the Appeals Court of Mayo and Fienberg. My name is Greg, and I'm writing from Brooklyn, New York.
And I'm an alien.
I have what I might be a challenging case,
All
and
right.
look forward to your ruling.
Okay.
I've been the commissioner of a home fantasy football league for the last 13 seasons. The same group of friends, including 3 sets of brothers for that entire time. The past couple of seasons, one league mate, we'll call him Shipbreak, has been tardy when it comes to the buy-in payment. The past season, it was only $100 thanks to him winning a couple $50 weekly high score prizes. Communication details from me to him after the seasons are below. December 20th. Only down $100 after the high score prizes, sir! Exclamation point. Send when you can. Hope the holidays are treating you and the family well. February 4th. Just following up to finalize collection, sir. Happy Super Bowl week. March 18th. Hey, man, I'm going to need that payment soon. None of these messages have received a response over 3 months now. Ultimately, I know I'll receive the payment, and it will probably be accompanied by some version of an apology. My question for Judge Cust, who has a history of being less than reliable at paying off his debts. Is there any way acceptable, regardless of the amount owed? Is this grounds for removal from the league? Should Shipbreak have a history that points to poor character influence my decision? If this makes it through, thank you for hearing my case, and I'll always remember that you can't spell justice without Cust.
This person
That
really
sucks
wants
to
me
be known as not being reliable to pay your debts. I tell you, that's a bad thing.
I
You
don't
can
know.
call me a bad driver, but
I don't know how this came about. I don't know what I've done. I don't know
something with the Bills and Paul. I think.
Oh, that was a whole thing. Anyway, Paul got his money.
Yeah.
I paid him. I paid Paul. That was years ago.
I paid Paul.
It was years ago. I thought I did. Maybe you did. Okay. Anyway, what matters is that Paul got. Look, okay.
This guy's a big fan of the show. We'll leave it at that.
A big fan of the show, and he's needling me but that just shows you how ethical I am as a judge. That despite every instinct I have to make me want to rule against this person, I can't do that.
What do you do with the guy?
This guy is suspended from the league until such time as payment is made. And he's got to pay next year's in advance.
Well, they need to do what ours is, which has really forced people to really pay up. Is we get to the draft because we still do a live draft. Some people are doing it online for our like home and friends league. So 14 of us are in the league. Well, actually, there's 16. There's like co-teams. But if you have not paid by the time the draft starts, you are not allowed to make a pick.
Yeah, you can't draft if you don't pay.
We've never had an issue. I mean, it's like our commissioner, and it's a bit of money, but it's like just I can't even like nothing ever. Like we've never had an issue, but.
Guy seems like he's ducking you.
Playoffs.
It seems like it's $100. I mean, that's the reason that we.
This is Pat. This is one where it like truly depends on how much you like this guy. Because I'll just correlate this. If you say it's a long-standing thing, you're all buddies. We've all kind of know what I'm about to say. We all know. We all have that friend who maybe you go on buddies trips or like a week out, and maybe he's just doesn't have it, or it's just tough. But he's like a great guy, and he like just brings life to the party. And he's like good to have around, and like most people want him there. That you will like put up with something like this because it is $100 and it's not going to change anything in your life. And in the end, you will get it. If you fucking don't like this guy, you can't stand him, he's annoying. Then it's like this is your chance to dump him. So it really is all about like where you stand with this guy, and if the right, like isn't it that sort of situation? Kind of.
So you send him a message. He gets one last warning.
No.
You have until this date to pay up, or you can't be in the league next year, man. I can't be chasing you around for money like we're 14.
Getting money for fantasy football, like at the when he said February 4th, I was like, holy shit.
Waiting.
Then I get a March? Like,
yeah,
that's insane.
He gets one more warning, and then that's it. And the warning includes, if you do not pay me by this date, I'm sorry, you're out of the league, man.
There's a really easy way to do this. That at the beginning of the year, whenever you announce the draft, go to leaguesafe.com, create the link, and just send it to everyone. That's where the money goes. It stays there, and it provides a very easy link for everyone to pay. It's not like you have to know an email to transfer it or a Venmo or PayPal address. It's just here's one link. It takes credit cards, for Christ's sake, that you can pay the $100 on.
Anyway, however you want to organize it, you should get paid in advance going forward. And for this fellow, he's got to pay you by the date that you give him in the next text. And if not, sorry, it's out because you can't chase him.
And this commissioner, I assume, paid the winner like with his own money, right?
I've had to do that before.
It doesn't.
No, I'm just asking.
maybe he
Or
did.
is this guy the winner looking to still collect?
You as a
from
commissioner,
people?
despite I would question many of the things you wrote in your message, you as a commissioner or have been wronged. You should make one final demonstration, one final representation to him, and that's
What
it.
does like? I'm sure he's mentioned it to like a handful of guys in the league. Like, what does the crew say?
Well, you can ask the crew, but I mean, you're the commissioner. Ultimately, the decision falls in your hands, and I think you just got to make it. You just got to take an action.
Jeff's not wrong though. Likability goes a long way with not having to like.
My
pay
guess
people
is this
on
guy
time.
is likable because it wouldn't have gotten this far if he wasn't.
You're probably right.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Because there are certain guys that, like, even like when I'm collecting money for our league, that I know the offenders, and it's not that they don't have the money; it's just that they're borderline mentally incompetent and can't remember to pay.
man,
Yeah, like I have to text. I so rarely call.
I have to get
people.
their keepers from them. You think? I mean, that's another challenge in itself. Yeah, what day is it? I told you 3 times. Well, can we make trades? Not till you've made me your keepers. And it goes on like this. I have to collect everybody's keepers.
And
So
it's
I get
been
it.
the same rule for 10 years.
I get it. It's the same. Yeah, it's being a commissioner or an assistant commissioner is thankless.
Very
work.
thankless.
Thankless.
That's why you splitting it with me is very helpful.
It's the only reason the league still exists.
I'll handle the money, you handle the rest.
Yeah.
And
I
even
will say, my buddy, like our home league, who is the commissioner, he freaking loves it.
yeah,
He loves it. He loves having to like put the trades through. He like
Yeah, but with ours, I've got to go through every year's team and look at it on week 9 and then look at it in week 18 and then make sure that nobody on the week 18 team wasn't on the week 9 team. And so I have to create everybody's rosters. Then I have to go back into the last year's Excel
it's like the same
sheet.
People who want to like be on their home HOA board, like they love it.
Yeah, but I
Inside,
have to
they
do
love
this.
it and they want to do it.
And I have to then cross-reference the draft board with the round they were taken in and their keeper value and then produce a roster and send it out. Like it is like an 8 to 10 hour commitment to get that done of time, nonstop on the computer.
Well, you probably use like pen and paper.
he does. Well, with Tim Butts creating the Excel sheet for you really sped up your process.
It did help things out. But like, and then people reach out and say, well, I'll help you with it. It's like, you can't really help me with it.
Well, they
'cause
can. It's just you
have
refuse
to
to
do
accept
it.
the help.
You can't really help. You just have to do it.
I mean, you could just screenshot all the teams and pump them into ChatGPT, and it would be done in literally 45 seconds.
I don't know how to do that.
Well,
I'm
this,
not
when they say how can they help, maybe that's how they
I'm
can
not
help.
a boomer. I don't use AI for everything.
But this would speed up your process. You just said it takes so long, no
It
one can
does.
help me. I just told you how you can help yourself and cut your time by 1,000%.
And then I had the same people every year breathing down my neck, asking when rosters are going to be out. It's like, man, I do this for the love of the game. So be patient.
When is it appropriate to message people about fantasy football once the season is done?
What do you mean?
Like, I have run into this issue where I have turned notifications off because people are constantly messaging about trades in February, March, and April.
Yeah, you
Doesn't
guys,
the league like lock for a period?
you guys are younger, so you like have things to talk about. Like I don't even.
It drives me nuts.
I started this like what are we in year 20?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's for such an insignificant amount of money at this point. I really don't care. So I just kind of set my roster every week and go on my way. Like I'm betting 10 times the buy-in fee to this league every week on football. Yeah. That's what I care about. I don't really care about this. So it just I think like half the people are like that. Half the people like 4
When
or
we
5.
were Jared's age, we had a friend like leave because it was like too intense. And even felt like the draft was too like sneaky and conniving and people like being dishonest. And we joke with them now, like now the pool is everything you'd want it to be. No one talks about it. We're old. Like we just manage our teams and draft.
Yeah,
like,
and we make trades, but people
when we
used
were
to take it
Jared's
seriously.
age, it
Very
was like
seriously. Now it's like we have fun with it.
It was our life.
Yeah, when we
was
had
ours
nothing
too.
going on. I mean, that's the main reason that I got into fantasy football content initially.
It's true.
I had so little going on in my life, it really meant a lot to
Yeah,
me.
now it is really a peripheral thing that I think about on Sunday morning and to a lesser degree Saturday evening if I'm looking at my roster.
What? Would you disagree, Jeff?
No, I agree. I
But
totally
I will say,
agree.
Like, how do you get hyper obsessed with something?
I
You
did-
have literally nothing
when I
else
got
going
into
on.
the semifinals and the finals this year, the juices started flowing again.
Sure, I was
But
in it
that's the
last
first
year.
time I felt it. And like all, like I had a pretty good team. There was like 3 or 4 good teams, and like I was paying attention. And then like when I got into the semis against Tim Butts, and then the finals against Garion, like I started getting fired up. I was like old school. Every catch, every yard, every play. I was like, oh yeah, I hate this, and I hate how this makes me feel. I hate this. Right. There's a reason I stopped paying attention like this. This is awful.
You guys started fantasy baseball again this year.
Yeah, but again, it's cash. Very cash. Like you set your lineup, there's 1 or 2 streams a week, and you just sort of it's not like our group chat, which has just become Montreal Sports Talk Radio.
Well, that's fun for like
we're having fun.
3 weeks a year.
And it only takes place during games, if you notice.
Yes, it's no different than like when the Masters is on. That's really the only time
Yes.
golf ever comes up. It's Super Bowl, football comes up. I
Yeah.
mean, there are a few bets thrown out week to week, but overall, that group chat tends to be pretty silent unless one guy is really going off.
Yeah, or there's something going on people want to chat about.
Carlin here. Do you remember Carlin from the
The
town hall debate shows? He was the old guy with the beard.
Oh,
He had,
yeah,
like
yeah.
300 questions.
Not
He was
the
good.
7 things you can't say on TV, Carlin.
No, it wasn't dead George Carlin.
Do you know who George Carlin is?
What do you think?
Yes, I actually think you do know who he is.
Describe him.
He's a comedian.
He was Mr. Conductor
He was Mr. Conductor on
before
Thomas-
Ringo Starr was, or after Ringo Starr was.
He
I
has
don't
like
know.
the light.
I don't know the order
light-
of the Mr. Conductors.
Light beard is like one of the top 5 most famous comedians of all time.
He's my
probably.
favorite comedian of all
What?
time.
George Carlin, yeah.
When did he die?
2002.
There it
2003.
is.
Died of
Yeah,
cancer.
There
he
it is.
lived longer than that because he
No,
had
he died young.
he had the post 9/11 special.
Yeah, he died young though. 2003, 4.
I don't think he was young.
But he was like in his 50s or 60s.
He was born, he died in 2008.
2008. Okay, so that is,
He was born in 1937.
so he was like in his
71.
70s. Yeah, still pretty young.
Sure.
Anyway, he
one
died
of
young.
one of the funniest comedians ever.
Correct. You'll see
nothing.
a lot of modern comedy is basically just based off
George Carlin. Yeah. This is not like when you didn't know who Sam Kinison was, and I was upset.
Yeah.
Because he talks like this the whole time.
Anyway, not George Carlin. Carlin, viewer of this show, says this happened about 10 years ago, so the pricing would be more egregious today.
Okay.
My wife and I went for dinner with
My
a friend,
wife.
his girlfriend, and 2 adult children to a sushi restaurant. For what we thought, what are you going on about? Can you let me read the fucking question?
Sure.
Remember when you were trying to do the extra on the NFL draft show and then Jeff started talking over you? How did that feel?
Very frustrating.
Yeah. Now you know what it's like. My wife and I went for dinner with a friend, his girlfriend, and 2 adult children to a sushi restaurant for what I thought was going to be a short dinner. My wife and I each ordered a single plate dish, around $20 each. Over the course of the next 3 hours, my friend and his guests ordered $500 worth of sushi and wine, none of which my wife or I consumed. At the end of the meal, the bill came, my friend said, let's just split it 6 ways. I got enraged and insisted we would pay for our plates only. And my friend made a big scene of itemizing the bill for 20 minutes. We paid our share and we left. Judge Cust, am I an asshole for never speaking to this guy again?
Oh, so that's not the question I expected you to ask. Depends on the relationship you have with that person. Like if the roots are deep, like, well, this is awful.
How mad would you be?
I'd be very annoyed, but I'd get over it. I wouldn't like let it ruin a long-term friendship. I might not speak to that person for a few months, but I like wouldn't hold it against them forever. Like, let's say it was like someone on our golf trip who did this to me. I'm gonna speak to them for like 3 or 4 months, but like when the golf trip comes around, I chat with them, hang out. Like I wouldn't let it spoil my time. We'd get along. Like, so do you never speak with that person again? Boy, oh boy, that sounds. I was about to say you're completely in the right with everything you've done here so far. I completely agree with you. I'm going to recommend you don't like not talk to that person ever again. I think there's nothing wrong with taking a cooling period, but then like broach them in like 6, 8, 10 months. Say hi. Like I don't think you need to ruin a friendship permanently over this. That's my advice.
What do we do about this, Jeff? What happens with you when this happens?
I don't know how this could happen. There'd never be such a level of miscommunication where I'm like, think we're out for a quick bite and it's a 3. And like, I would never be in a miscommunication where I think I'm going for a quick bite and these other people think we're going for like a fancy, expensive meal. Like, I can't even, I'm trying to like figure out how we got here.
You didn't plan it.
So there's
let's
just
say.
such a huge miscommunication to begin with. and then you like wait for the bill to make your comment. Like you should have made your comment about what you're paying for as they're like ordering and reordering and like drinking the wine.
Yes.
Like you should have said, even like in a joking way, like just say like me and my, like we ate like $27 of sushi here. Like I'm not part of this, as he's like getting refills and
Something like that. Yeah.
having the plates refilled. That's when you should have probably in jest made a comment.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once the bill like I don't like you. I don't like you.
You think
Like I
he
just
had an
like to think I
obligation?
would know what I'm getting into. Like I would know if this person's gonna ask me for some of the bill, or if this is the type of guy who's like more aware of shit. So I'm just having a hard time like putting myself here. But again, to end a friendship over a 3-way split that's like $550 also seems like way too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Like
also
we're talking
10
about a
years
3-way
ago.
split over
Even if it
$500.
was- Even if it's over $1,000.
I mean, it's a matter of principle too. Like
Yes.
you saw me sitting here not eating and not drinking.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like I don't get it from the other guy's perspective though.
No, I mean that
Unless
person
he was so
obviously-
drunk he didn't
that person
realize.
was obviously just
I
being
agree
extremely
too.
oblivious.
But that's where I said like the multi-level miscommunication.
Or it wasn't his idea; it was the kids and the wife's idea, and he sort of felt obligated to continue.
Imagine
'cause-
being at a 3-hour meal, Pat, with kids.
well, they were adult kids.
Oh,
and like maybe you and he and his wife thought they were just going to have a quick bite, or it wasn't clearly communicated, and you just thought like. I could see the miscommunication. I can see why it would go on longer.
maybe you and your wife were the last wheels to an already 2-couple dinner party who thought they were going out for a nice meal. And,
Maybe
and
the point.
drinks.
The
So
point is like, yeah, it's unfortunate. You did the right thing. I'm not inclined to encourage you to like end the friendship over it.
All right. Well, we have two more cases, time pending here. I'm going to say there's one of them that I want to say for another one. 'Cause
Okay.
It's pretty extensive. It'll be like this one. We had the wedding one lasted half an hour. In the first episode, there was one that lasted like 40 minutes. This one will last a long time. So we'll do that one next episode. We'll kick it off.
Okay.
Maybe case 2 in that one. James from California says, a new mindset I have encountered regarding birthdays is some of the mothers saying they should be the ones celebrated on a kid's birthday.
Oh,
For without them,
yeah.
the child wouldn't be there. I haven't asked if the same logic applies for the father and if they should be celebrated, but I can assume what the answer would be for that. For what it's worth, I don't agree with this mindset. Do you agree with the mindset that the mother deserves to be celebrated more than the child on the child's birthday?
lady, it's called Mother's Day. You get to have a Mother's Day. You get your birthday, which is your day. Did you celebrate your mother on your birthday? I bet you didn't. And you get a Mother's Day where you are celebrated for your and the father gets Father's Day. No, you don't. Your child's birthday is about your child. Can you really not give your child one day that isn't all about you and the solipsistic approach you take to things? Like it's all that child's birthday is about the child. It is not about you. You have Mother's Day. You have your own birthday. No, I feel like this is terrible. How dare you try to take the credit from them for their birthday? Well, if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be bored. Yeah, okay. Well, then you know what? They should get to celebrate your Mother's Day. Because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be a mother. Like, doesn't that seem also crazy? Yes, it seems crazy. You're all crazy.
As a solipsistic person, I really enjoy the word drop.
Oh, okay. Well, but this is what this lady is.
Yeah, I agree.
Whoever this person is who thinks that their child's birthday should be about them because they gave birth.
Jeff, had you heard of this before? Because I had not.
I've 1000% heard of this. I'm trying to like remember where, but like I don't know. I've definitely heard this. I don't think it was like from my wife because she loves celebrating our
wife.
kids on their birthday.
Like
But-
any normal parent does.
I swear I've definitely heard like Jewish mothers say something like this. Me, it's about me. My vaginal cavity.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I don't know. I mean, my mom would like to remind me how cold it was, that it was a storm, that the doctors wanted to get home for Christmas, that my grandfather's car got towed and my grandmother drove him nuts and da 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 da. But I mean, she makes it about her in other ways on my birthday. But Yeah,
Yes.
no, I've heard this before for
This
sure.
is a terrible, terrible trend.
Yeah, they get it. I mean, yeah, whatever.
The cult of me is certainly at play here.
I'm
Sounds like somebody
surprised
probably
same
follow on
people would
TikTok.
have like a destination wedding.
All right, last one. Dear Judge Cust, this comes from Joe in Indiana.
Hello, Joe.
I recently went to the movies with my girlfriend at one of the movie theaters with the recliner chairs.
Sure.
When we get to our seats at the movies, there ended up being what I assumed to be a couple next to us. The theater itself was probably only around 50% full in total, maybe a bit higher. The seating went me, a woman to my left, and what I assume was her significant other to her left. The woman next to me fell asleep for large parts of the movies and started snoring.
Oh, dear.
It wasn't so loud that you consistently heard it over the action scenes, but it was noticeable enough during the quieter scenes. To me, there seemed to be a couple of options. 1, stay put in the seats and we choose to deal with it. 2, wake her up. 3, move seats. Would I have been in the right to wake her up since I could hear her snore even though she paid for her seat just like the rest of us? P.S. The woman woke up close to the climax of the movie in which she started loudly munching on popcorn, making me realize why it's best for people to finish snacks early in the movie. This also made me realize that I should have just moved at some point during the movie.
Yeah.
That's what I would have
Shit,
recommended.
He sat there the whole goddamn time, stewing. Sorry, Tim. Sorry, Jim.
No, look, my position is that you just get up and move seats. Just move. If it's becoming so overwhelmingly bad, go tell the usher. Let them deal with it. That's their job. Their job
Usher
is to
would
deal.
tell you to move.
Yeah,
You're right.
You to
In a
move.
But like
50%
that's,
empty
that's
theater.
whose job it is to intervene with another patron at the theater. It's not your job to say, "Hey, lady, could you wake up and stop snoring?" You can't do, or say to the guy, whatever. No, you can't do that. You move
How are
seats.
you right beside each other in a 50% filled theater to begin
Maybe
with?
they all want the rail.
I mean, if someone's sitting close to the rail and I'm there for the rail, like I'm sitting next to that guy, I really don't care. My feet are going up for the entire movie. However,
I
because
took my kids to Mario. We got the seats on the screen. I prepaid for them. By the time we were there, it was like 80% empty theater. I didn't like the situation, the surroundings for where I picked seats. We just sat. I just like, girls, we're going to sit right here.
Yes.
They didn't know where I picked to begin with.
sure,
That's all. Like little critical thinking. The fact this guy sat there thinking about this,
That's wild.
Like you move. Like your first thought, move. Okay, maybe I'll stay. The second time you think you should move, you should move.
Yes.
This guy probably thought he should have moved like 37 times. You just move on their second thought of moving.
And he's right
Anywhere
about the snacks too. Those need to be eaten early, not
Agreed.
late. Essentially, you don't have to be the cookie monster with them, but eat them quickly. Eat it while it's hot. Drink it while it's cold.
The only thing I could think of, because he mentioned they were recliner seats, that maybe there were only so many recliner seats. Like, would you move out of your recliner seat that you paid for? If there was no other recliners available, you can move to a different seat, but maybe not the comfy seat that you paid for.
I wouldn't even, I'd wake her up without her even knowing it was me who woke her
Like this.
up.
Boom!
Yeah, like there's a way to do it.
Make sure that as soon as a funny joke lands, go ha 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 ha.
Yeah, or something, or like pretend you dropped your something out of your pocket. You just had to like.
Or you need to get up to go out to use the washroom.
Well, I never
Excuse me,
want.
excuse me.
I'm never going to the washroom during a movie.
No, but you say excuse me so you can slide through.
Sure, like if that's your move, but at that point you just move. Like you've already stood up.
I agree. You should just move here. I know, even if the seats aren't the seats you wanted. If it's really, like I said, if it's really a huge deal, go speak to the usher.
No, because even though he's like, it's an action movie, and like for the most part, I couldn't hear it. I am so fragile that like I can never. Once I hear it, I can't not hear it. And there's no way I'm gonna fight this game of should I move, shouldn't I move. So I honestly, this is just. This writer, supporting the show, but you just like, what an epic miscalc. When he wrote that he was still sitting there as she was chomping.
Old Champas.
Like a mule eating an apple.
Well, that will do it on this episode of Judge Cust. If you have a case that you would like to hear before Judge Cust and the appeals court of Mayo and Fienberg, send it in at mayomediainc@gmail.com. You can hit the description and get the direct email address if you like to copy and paste it or send it from your phone, whatever it might be. Thanks for doing this, guys. It was fun.
It was.